They never wanted you to know this. They thought if they silenced it, you would forget. But truth cannot be silenced, and what is born of God cannot die. This prayer was whispered in shadows, guarded in secret, yet it endures, because its power is not of man, but of the eternal. Joseph Murphy devoted his life to uncovering this hidden law of prayer, because he knew it still works miracles. Those who came to hear him were not looking for empty ritual. They were looking for answers, and answers they received. For Murphy understood, prayer is not begging, not pleading, not superstition. True prayer is a command of faith, an alignment with the infinite, a key that unlocks the very gates of life itself. And now, you stand at that same threshold, not by chance, not by accident. The words you are about to hear have healed broken bodies, restored broken minds, and renewed broken hearts. They have outlived the man himself, because they belong to an eternal law, a law that cannot weaken, cannot fail, and cannot sleep. So pause, breathe. Let go of the doubts of yesterday and the noise of the world. Step into this moment as if entering a hidden sanctuary. For the prayer ahead is not theory, not ritual, it is living power, waiting for the soil of your faith. Prepare your heart, quiet your mind. For once you receive this truth, you will never look at prayer the same way again. Now, let the words of Joseph Murphy reveal what was hidden, and watch what happens when you pray with the power they never wanted you to find. And now, we begin.
They tried to hide it from you because they knew its power. They feared what would happen if men and women everywhere discovered that the greatest miracles were not locked in temples or written in secret books, but already buried within their own minds. The prayer I am about to unveil is not long, nor complicated, nor adorned with ritual. It is simple, and precisely because it is simple, it is dangerous to the powers that seek to control you. For once you learn to use it, you will realize you are no longer a beggar before life, but a master of its hidden law. This prayer, whispered in silence and engraved upon the subconscious, has healed bodies, restored fortunes, dissolved chains, and opened doors, thought forever closed. And tonight as you listen, you will know why they tried to hide it and why it still works miracles. The secret is this: true prayer is not pleading but believing. It is not asking as though God were far away, reluctant to bless you. It is impressing the subconscious with the conviction that what you desire is already yours. The moment your subconscious accepts it, it must be expressed. This is the law. What is impressed is expressed. And because the subconscious cannot distinguish between real and imagined, it accepts as real what you vividly feel to be true. Therefore, the hidden prayer is simply this: to assume the state of the answered prayer, to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to let the heart know as fact what the eyes cannot yet see. They tried to hide this from you because it makes you free, and a free soul cannot be enslaved by fear. There was once a man crushed by debt, fearing every sunrise. He prayed, he begged, he pleaded, but nothing changed, for his subconscious still held the image of lack. I told him the secret. Each night before sleep, see yourself writing checks with ease. Feel the joy of bills already paid. Whisper in silence, I am supplied by infinite source. Abundance flows to me now. Do not plead, assume it is already so. He obeyed. Within months opportunities appeared, debts were dissolved, and prosperity flowed. The prayer had not been to an external deity, but to his own subconscious, the channel of the infinite. And once impressed, it expressed. This is why they tried to hide it, because it shows you that wealth, health, and harmony do not depend on others. They depend on the beliefs you carry within. Understand this. Every time you affirm with feeling, every time you imagine vividly, you are praying. Prayer is not bound to pews or altars. It is the inner dialogue you hold with yourself day and night. If your inner dialogue is fear, you are praying for fear's expression. If your inner dialogue is resentment, you are praying for strife. But if you fill your inner dialogue with faith, peace, abundance, then you are praying the hidden prayer that produces miracles. Life is a mirror, and the mirror cannot but reflect the image placed before it. That is why the ancients said, according to your faith, be it unto you. Not according to your words, not according to your rituals, but according to your faith, your inner conviction. Your subconscious does not tire. It does not slumber. Even as you sleep, it labors ceaselessly, constructing tomorrow from the blueprints you gave it today. This is why the moments before sleep are the holiest of all, for in that twilight, the conscious mind relaxes, and the subconscious becomes open, impressionable, ready to accept the seed of belief. If you fall asleep rehearsing fear, you awaken to more fear. If you fall asleep affirming harmony, you awaken to harmony. The hidden prayer, then, is to give your subconscious noble orders before sleep. Say with authority, "Divine love fills me. Infinite abundance flows through me. I am guided, healed, and prospered now." Whisper it until sleep takes you, and while you rest, the law goes to work, weaving those affirmations into reality. They tried to hide this truth by cloaking prayer in superstition, by teaching you that power belonged to a priest, a ritual, an institution. But the Christ said, "The kingdom of God is within you." The prophets declared, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." They were pointing to the same law. That belief impressed upon the subconscious creates life. The world cannot enslave a man who knows this. No tyrant can control a woman who lives it, for such a soul has found the inner wellspring and needs no permission to drink. This is why the prayer was hidden, why it was ridiculed, why it was suppressed. But truth cannot be buried forever. Tonight it rises again, alive in you. Consider this also. Miracles are not violations of law, but fulfillments of law at a higher level. When Jesus said to the blind, "Receive your sight," he was impressing upon their subconscious the image of vision. When he said to the sick, "Be made whole," he was planting the seed of health in the fertile soil of their belief. And when they believed, the subconscious expressed it instantly, and the world called it miracle. Yet it was law, always law, and that same law lives in you now. You do not need to walk the streets of Galilee to find it. You need only to impress your subconscious with the conviction of your prayer, and the miracle must appear. Do not mistake this prayer for idle repetition. It is not the mechanical reciting of words, but the conscious union of thought and feeling. When you say, "I am strong," feel strength in your body. When you say, "I am prosperous," feel the relief of abundance. When you say, "I am loved," feel the warmth of companionship. The subconscious accepts feeling as fact, and once accepted, it expresses. That is why affirmation must not be lifeless, but alive. Pour yourself into it until you feel it. Then rest, knowing the seed is planted, and the harvest must come. Tonight, as you listen, I ask you not only to hear, but to practice. Do not let this truth slip away as mere words. Seal it with affirmation. Write it on a paper. Speak it aloud. Whisper it as you drift into sleep. I am one with divine wisdom. I am one with infinite abundance. I am healed, guided, and prosperous now. Say it with feeling. Say it until your heart accepts it. For once your subconscious accepts it, your life cannot remain the same. This is the hidden prayer, the forbidden prayer, the prayer that works miracles because it impresses the only power that creates your destiny. Say it, believe it, and watch the miracle unfold. Every miracle you have ever heard of, every healing, every sudden breakthrough, every impossible door that opened can be traced back to this same inner act. The subconscious mind was impressed with the conviction of a new reality, and by law it expressed it. There is no mystery here, though the world would keep you ignorant of it. They would have you believe that only a chosen few may access the divine, that only priests or holy men can command miracles. But the truth is that the divine has written its law within you, and the subconscious is the temple where every prayer is heard and answered. You do not need another to intercede for you. You need only to impress your own inner mind with faith, and the infinite responds without delay. Think of the words of Christ when he said, "When ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Notice he did not say, "Beg until you are heard." He said, "Believe." Belief is the hidden prayer. Belief is the key that unlocks the subconscious and commands it to act. And belief is not mere repetition of phrases. It is the inner acceptance, the emotional conviction that what you ask is already yours. This is why so many fail in prayer. They beg with their lips while doubting in their hearts. The subconscious hears the heart, not the lips. It accepts the feeling, not the formula. If your prayer is filled with fear, it will reproduce fear. If your prayer is filled with faith, it will reproduce faith. That is why you must learn to pray, not as a beggar, but as one already in possession of the thing desired. There was a woman who told me she had prayed for years to be healed, yet sickness clung to her body. I asked her, when you pray, what do you feel? She said, I feel fear. I feel desperate. I feel that God may not answer me. I explained, that is not prayer. That is fear repeated. I gave her a new method. Each night before sleep, she was to see herself walking in perfect health. She was to imagine her body radiant, her energy strong, and she was to whisper, the healing presence of God flows through me. Every cell responds to divine order. I am whole. She obeyed, and within months her body began to renew itself. The sickness faded, and health returned. Why? Because she finally prayed the hidden prayer. She impressed her subconscious with health, and the subconscious expressed it. This hidden prayer is the same whether your need is for health, wealth, guidance, or love. The subconscious does not care what seed you plant, it only grows it. If you plant fear of poverty, it expresses lack. If you plant belief in abundance, it expresses supply. If you plant resentment, it expresses strife. If you plant love, it expresses harmony. It is no respecter of persons. It simply obeys the law. That is why I say to you tonight, write down the law, engrave it in your heart, whisper it until you cannot forget it. What is impressed is expressed. Say it aloud now, not as a ritual, but as a command to your soul. What is impressed is expressed. The ancients cloaked this prayer in parables because they knew its simplicity would shock. They spoke of sowing seed, of hidden treasure, of pearls of great price. They were all pointing to the same reality, that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and it is unlocked by belief. When you sow the seed of faith, the harvest is inevitable. When you discover the treasure within, outer wealth follows. When you grasp the pearl of great price, the power of the subconscious, your life is transformed. And yet the world tries to bury this truth beneath ritual and superstition, because a man who knows he is free within cannot be enslaved without. You must also recognize that doubt is a prayer, just as faith is a prayer. If you continually doubt, you are praying for failure. If you continually fear, you are praying for calamity. The subconscious cannot distinguish between a wish and a worry. It only knows what you dwell upon with feeling. So if you brood over fear, it accepts it as a command. If you dwell upon hope with conviction, it accepts that as a command. This is why you must discipline your inner life. Guard your thoughts as you would guard your most precious treasure. Speak only what you wish to see. Imagine only what you desire to live. And when stray fears arise, replace them immediately with affirmations of truth. Reverse every negative suggestion with a positive decree, and soon the subconscious will hold only the seed you wish to see sprout. Do not make the mistake of thinking this prayer is complicated. Its genius is in its simplicity. You do not need elaborate rituals. You do not need special words. You need only to feel the reality of your desire as already accomplished, and to impress that feeling upon your subconscious. That is prayer. And when it is done in faith, the result is inevitable. The law is not mocked. Life will express what you impress. The harvest may appear in days, weeks, or months, but it cannot fail to appear. For seed cannot remain forever hidden in the soil. It must break forth in its season. One young man once told me he prayed for success, but always saw himself failing. His words begged for prosperity, but his inner pictures rehearsed defeat. I told him, you must align your picture with your prayer. You must imagine yourself succeeding. Hear the applause, feel the joy of achievement. He practiced, and in time his inner picture shifted. His subconscious accepted the image of success, and soon success came, seemingly by chance. But there is no chance, only law. The subconscious expressed the seed he finally impressed. This is the miracle, and it is available to you now. So tonight I urge you to practice this hidden prayer. Do not wait until you are desperate. Do not wait until life forces you to your knees. Begin now. Whisper into your subconscious, I am one with divine intelligence. I am guided, healed, and prosperous. Infinite abundance flows through me. Love surrounds me. Peace governs me. Write it on a piece of paper. Speak it before sleep. Imagine it as true. Feel it until your heart believes it. For once the subconscious accepts, the miracle begins. This is the hidden prayer they tried to hide. But it is alive in you now. Use it, and it will change your life. The reason they tried to conceal this prayer is because once a person discovers its power, they can no longer be manipulated by fear, by scarcity, or by the illusion that power resides outside of them. You become sovereign over your own destiny the moment you realize that the subconscious mind is the true altar where every prayer is answered. When you stand before this altar, you need no mediator, no ritual, no elaborate ceremony. You need only belief. For belief is the sacrifice, belief is the incense, belief is the offering that the infinite accepts. And once it is accepted, the answer is already on its way. The world cannot chain the man or woman who knows this truth, for such a soul is no longer dependent on external approval, but lives from the inexhaustible well within. You must understand that every word you speak inwardly, every image you dwell upon, every feeling you allow to linger, is a prayer. Life is a continuous prayer, and the subconscious answers without ceasing. If you mutter resentment, you are praying for more conflict. If you repeat fears, you are praying for more of what you fear. If you brood over lack, you are praying for poverty. But if you declare peace, if you imagine abundance, if you feel love, then you are praying the hidden prayer that works miracles. The law makes no distinction, it only reflects. And this is why discipline of the inner life is the highest form of mastery. The outer world bends to the inner decree, and the decree is always belief. A young woman once told me she prayed every day for companionship, but her heart whispered, "No one will ever love me." Her lips begged for love, but her subconscious only heard her inner conviction of loneliness. I taught her the hidden prayer. Each night she was to see herself walking hand in hand with someone who cherished her. She was to feel the warmth of love, the joy of companionship, the certainty of belonging. She was to whisper before sleep, "I am surrounded by love. I attract harmony and joy. Divine love fills my life." She did this faithfully, and in time love entered her life in a beautiful way. What changed? Not the world, not chance, only her inner conviction. The subconscious, once impressed, expressed. That is the law. Do not think that the subconscious is slow to respond. It is immediate in acceptance. The only delay is the depth of your belief. If you impress lightly, the seed is shallow, and it may be washed away. But if you impress deeply with feeling, the seed is rooted, and nothing can uproot it. Once the subconscious accepts, it begins its work at once. It marshals every resource, arranges circumstances, stirs intuition, moves events, all to fulfill the image impressed. You may not see it at once, but the process has already begun. Just as a seed beneath the soil begins to sprout unseen before it breaks the surface, so too does the prayer work invisibly before it appears visibly. Trust the process. Believe the law. The harvest is inevitable. This hidden prayer is the secret behind every so-called miracle of healing. Madame Beer, blind though her optic nerves were destroyed, recovered her sight when convinced she could see. Caruso, paralyzed with fear, commanded his subconscious to sing, and his voice soared. Hypnotic subjects develop blisters or heal instantly, not because the body changes itself by chance, but because the subconscious accepted a new belief and expressed it. Your body is the servant of your subconscious. Every organ, every cell, every nerve listens to the command of your inner conviction. If you say, "I am weak," your body obeys. If you say, "I am strong," it obeys. If you declare with feeling, "Health is mine now," your body reorganizes itself to fulfill the order. This is the miracle of prayer, not magic, but law. Think also of abundance. The world tells you that wealth comes from labor alone, from chance, from inheritance. But the truth is, wealth comes from within. You are a channel of infinite supply. The subconscious, when impressed with the conviction of abundance, opens doors, attracts opportunities, creates channels. You may not know how, but the subconscious knows, for it is linked to infinite intelligence. One man I knew, crushed with debt, began to affirm nightly, "Wealth flows to me like a river. I am one with infinite riches." He imagined himself free, at peace, supplied. And in time, unexpected contracts, sudden gifts, and new opportunities cleared his debt and brought him prosperity. The prayer had been answered the moment he believed, but it unfolded as his subconscious aligned outer conditions to match his inner conviction. The law is impartial. It does not favor the saint over the sinner, the rich over the poor, the educated over the simple. It favors only belief. What you believe, you receive. This is why idle words are dangerous, why careless thoughts are perilous. Every word is a seed, every thought is a decree, every feeling is a prayer. You are programming the greatest creative power in existence. Guard your programming. Speak only what you wish to live. Imagine only what you wish to see. Feel only what you desire to experience. And when negative suggestions come, reject them at once. Reverse them with truth. Replace them with affirmation. Do not let weeds take root in your subconscious, for weeds grow as readily as wheat, and the soil makes no distinction. And now let us engrave this law upon your mind. Whisper it, write it, believe it. What is impressed is expressed. Say it with me. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am whole, strong, and free. Abundance flows through me. Love surrounds me. Peace fills me. Success is mine now. Say it until your heart accepts it. Say it until your subconscious believes it. Say it until the law is set in motion. For the hidden prayer is not a ritual of the lips, but a conviction of the heart. And once the heart believes, the miracle is already underway. They tried to hide this prayer, but it cannot be hidden any longer. Tonight, it has found you. Use it, and it will remake your life. They feared this prayer because it places the keys of power directly in your hands. It does not depend on a distant authority, nor on the permission of men, nor on the favor of chance. It depends only on the law of belief, operating through your own subconscious mind. Once you know this, you no longer tremble before circumstances, no longer bow before conditions, no longer beg before life. You stand upright, knowing that the same spirit that governs the stars dwells within you, ready to answer the conviction of your heart. And once you grasp this, nothing external can hold you bound, for you have discovered that the world you see is but the shadow of the prayer you speak in silence. Every difficulty you face is not a punishment, but a signal. It is the mirror showing you what has been impressed upon the subconscious. If your life shows lack, it is because lack has been impressed. If your body shows sickness, it is because fear has been impressed. If your relationships show conflict, it is because resentment has been impressed. Do not waste time cursing the mirror. Change the image within, and the mirror must change. This is the hidden mechanism of life. The subconscious is exact, impartial, unchanging. It will not give you what you wish for idly. It will give you what you impress with conviction. Therefore, the true prayer is always inner. When the inner pattern changes, the outer form must follow. A young businessman once came to me in despair. Every venture collapsed. He said, "It seems fate is against me." But fate is only belief clothed in circumstance. I asked him, "What do you say to yourself each day?" He confessed, "I always think I will fail. I see others succeed, but never myself." His subconscious obeyed his command. I gave him the hidden prayer. Infinite intelligence prospers all that I do. Divine order governs my life. Success is mine now. He was to affirm this daily, to see his work flowing smoothly, to feel the relief of accomplishment. At first he doubted, but he persisted, and the subconscious yielded. In time his ventures flourished. His despair turned to confidence, and his world reflected the new image. What changed? Only the belief. And once the belief changed, the life changed. Do not underestimate the power of feeling. Cold words do not move the subconscious. You may say, "I am wealthy," but if you feel poor, the subconscious accepts poverty. You may say, "I am healthy," but if you feel fear of sickness, the subconscious accepts sickness. The key is to unite word and feeling. When you affirm wealth, feel the joy of possession. When you affirm health, feel the vitality in your body. When you affirm love, feel the warmth of companionship. The subconscious accepts feeling as fact, and once accepted, it expresses without delay. This is why the hidden prayer works miracles. It bypasses the surface words and plants conviction deep in the soil of the mind, where the law is set in motion. Remember this also. You cannot pray for one thing and believe another. A double mind produces no harvest. If you affirm wealth while secretly fearing poverty, poverty will appear. If you declare health while secretly expecting sickness, sickness will remain. The subconscious listens to the stronger impression and fear is often stronger than idle words. That is why persistence is essential. Repeat the truth until it outweighs the fear. Affirm the new belief until the old is dissolved. Persist until your heart accepts the conviction. Once the subconscious is convinced, the battle is over. For what is impressed is expressed, and nothing can resist the law once set in motion. A woman once prayed for peace in her home, yet she constantly affirmed strife by rehearsing every grievance. Her subconscious, faithful as always, produced more conflict. I taught her to reverse the pattern. Each night before sleep, she was to see her home filled with light, to imagine harmony reigning, to whisper, "Divine love fills this house. Peace governs every heart. Harmony is mine now." At first it felt unreal, but she persisted. Slowly, the atmosphere shifted, tensions dissolved, and her home reflected the image she had finally impressed. This is not coincidence, it is law. Life always mirrors the inner pattern, and prayer is the deliberate shaping of that pattern. The hidden prayer also governs health. Your body listens to your thoughts as faithfully as your subconscious listens to your commands. If you constantly declare, "I am tired, I am sick, I am weak," your body obeys. But if you affirm with feeling, "I am strong, I am vital, I am whole," your body reorganizes itself to match. This is why some fall ill under fear, while others recover under faith. The subconscious directs every function, every organ, every cell, and once it is impressed with health, the body must respond. There is no limit to the healing possible when the subconscious is given the right command. The ancients knew this truth. They spoke of faith moving mountains, of the blind receiving sight, of the lame walking. These were not exceptions to law, but demonstrations of it. The mountain is always the inner belief, and when that belief is changed, the outer mountain dissolves. The hidden prayer is the force that moves it, and the power is not gone. It is alive now, ready to be used by anyone who dares to believe. The world may laugh, it may deny, it may try to bury the truth, but the law cannot be silenced. What you impress, you will express, and every miracle is but the flowering of this law. Now let us seal this part with affirmation. Say it, write it, feel it. I am guided by infinite wisdom. I am filled with divine love. I am prosperous, healthy, and free. The law of life is the law of belief, and I believe only in harmony, abundance, and peace. Let it sink deep. Let it burn in your heart. For tonight you impress it, and tomorrow you will express it. This is the hidden prayer, and it is yours forever. They called it dangerous because it removes every excuse. Once you know this prayer, you can no longer say you are powerless. You can no longer say fate has betrayed you. You can no longer say life is against you. For you discover that every chain was forged within, and every key is held within. The hidden prayer works not because of who you are outwardly, but because of what you impress inwardly. The infinite makes no distinction between rich and poor, educated and simple, exalted and forgotten. It only responds to belief. And when you believe, the subconscious accepts, and expression follows. This is the unbreakable law. What is impressed is expressed. Whisper it to yourself now, for it must be etched into your mind. What is impressed is expressed. One man once came to me with trembling hands, paralyzed by fear of failure. He confessed, "Every time I attempt something new, I see myself falling, losing, disgrace." And indeed, his subconscious obeyed, producing failure at every turn. I told him, "You must give your subconscious a new picture, a new command. Each night, see yourself succeeding. Hear the applause, feel the strength of victory. Say with conviction, 'Success is mine now. Divine order governs my work. Infinite intelligence prospers all that I do.'" At first his words were shaky, his heart doubted, but persistence carved the new pattern. Soon his ventures succeeded, his trembling ceased, and he walked with calm confidence. What had changed? Not the world, only the inner decree. But once the decree was changed, the world was compelled to follow. Understand this. Fear is prayer inverted. It is belief in evil instead of belief in good. And just as faith produces miracles, fear produces calamity. If you dwell on fear, the subconscious accepts it, and life reflects it. If you dwell on faith, the subconscious accepts it, and life reflects it. The law is impartial. Fire will warm you or burn you, depending on how you use it. So too with the subconscious. Therefore, discipline yourself. Refuse to dwell on fear. Refuse to rehearse worry. Replace every negative thought with a positive decree. Do not say, I am afraid I will fail. Say, I am certain I will succeed. Do not say, I fear sickness. Say, I am whole and strong now. Each reversal is a seed, and the subconscious must grow the seed it is given. A woman once plagued with insomnia told me she begged God nightly for sleep, yet remained restless. I asked her, what do you say to yourself as you lie in bed? She answered, I always tell myself I will not sleep, I am too anxious. And so her subconscious, faithful to her command, kept her awake. I told her, change the script. As you lie down, say, I am at peace. Sleep embraces me. Divine rest restores me now. Imagine yourself drifting in comfort. See yourself rising refreshed. She obeyed, and soon her nights became tranquil, her body renewed. The hidden prayer had been spoken, not in begging, but in belief. And once belief was impressed, rest was expressed. You must also know that the subconscious works through symbols. Whatever image you give it, it accepts as real. That is why visualization is so powerful. Imagine vividly, and the subconscious will take the image as fact. One student longed for wealth. Each night he pictured himself holding crisp bills, feeling their texture, hearing the rustle. He affirmed, I am prosperous now, wealth flows to me freely. Within months, unexpected sources supplied him. Did the image create wealth out of nothing? No. It impressed abundance upon the subconscious, which then opened channels, stirred intuition, attracted opportunities. The world calls it chance. I call it law, for the subconscious always moves to fulfill the image impressed upon it. Do not think you are too weak or too broken to use this prayer. The more desperate your need, the more powerful its effect when applied. One man dying of tuberculosis affirmed nightly, I am whole. God's healing presence flows through me. Every cell sings with health. His family thought him delusional, but his subconscious accepted the decree, and in time his body was restored. The subconscious does not measure difficulty. It does not say, this is too great, this too small. To it, all impressions are equal. Whether you ask for a button or a fortune, a headache relieved or a cancer dissolved, the law is the same. Believe, and you shall receive. Doubt, and you shall go without. The responsibility is yours, but so is the reward. Consider also the power of repetition. A single thought may pass without effect, but repeated thoughts carve grooves into the subconscious, and soon the pattern becomes automatic. This is why habits form, why attitudes persist, why some feel trapped. But repetition works both ways. You can carve grooves of fear, or you can carve grooves of faith. You can reinforce defeat, or you can reinforce victory. Each affirmation, each image, each feeling repeated with conviction digs deeper into the subconscious until it becomes a permanent conviction. And once conviction is reached, expression must follow. That is why I say persist. Do not give up after one night. Sow and sow until the subconscious accepts, for once it accepts, the harvest is inevitable. Guard also against the suggestions of others. The world will try to impress you with fear, with doubt, with limitation. If you accept it, your subconscious will make it real. But you have the power to reject. If someone says you will fail, answer within, success is mine now. If they say you are sick, answer health is mine now. If they say you are poor, answer wealth flows to me now. Do not allow foreign seeds to be planted in your garden. Be vigilant, be deliberate. For every suggestion accepted or rejected is a seed, and the subconscious will grow what you allow. Now, let us plant deliberately. Whisper it, write it, feel it. I am one with infinite supply. I am guided by divine wisdom. Health fills me, wealth surrounds me, peace governs me. Fear has no power, doubt has no voice. I believe, and it is so. Impress this tonight. Seal it in your heart. For the prayer they tried to hide is alive in you now, and the miracle begins not tomorrow, but the moment you believe. They tried to make you believe that miracles were rare, reserved only for saints and prophets. Yet the truth is that miracles are nothing more than the natural expressions of divine law, when belief is rightly applied. The subconscious mind is the silent workshop where these so-called miracles are forged. It does not argue, it does not question, it does not reason, It accepts what you believe and brings it forth. If you believe in sickness, it expresses sickness. If you believe in harmony, it expresses health. If you believe in failure, it expresses failure. If you believe in success, it expresses prosperity. This is why the hidden prayer is so dangerous to those who wish to keep you small. Because once you grasp it, you can reproduce miracles in your own life without permission, without ritual, without dependence on others. You have direct access to the infinite. A minister in South Africa once faced a death sentence from lung cancer. The doctors gave no hope, but he turned within, using the hidden prayer. Every night he saw his lungs radiant with light, every breath filled with divine light. He affirmed again and again, "The healing presence of God flows through me. Every cell responds to divine order. I am whole now." His subconscious, saturated with this conviction, began to reorganize his body, and soon the cancer dissolved. The physicians called it a wonder, but it was not wonder, it was law. The subconscious had been impressed with health, and by law health was expressed. You see now why they tried to keep this from you. For if every soul knew they carried such power, fear would lose its grip forever. Do not imagine this prayer works only in health. It governs every area of life. Wealth, love, guidance, peace, all obey the same law. The subconscious is the channel through which infinite supply flows. One student, tormented by debt, began to affirm nightly, "I am one with abundance. Wealth flows to me like a river. I am free from every limitation." He imagined himself paying bills easily, feeling the joy of financial freedom. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities arose, debts dissolved, and prosperity unfolded. Did the prayer create wealth out of nothing? No. It aligned his subconscious with infinite supply, and the supply found channels to reach him. As within, so without. The harvest matched the seed. You must realize also that your subconscious does not measure difficulty. To it, a coin and a kingdom are the same. It only obeys the impression. This is why the Christ said, "According to your faith be it unto you." He did not say, "According to the size of your request." The law is impartial. If you impress poverty, poverty appears. If you impress wealth, wealth appears. The only difference lies in the depth of belief. A shallow wish carries no force. A deep conviction moves mountains. Therefore, persist until conviction is reached. Persist until the subconscious accepts. And once it accepts, nothing can prevent the expression. One woman once feared she would never find peace at home. Conflict surrounded her daily. She prayed outwardly, but inwardly she rehearsed arguments, replayed grievances, felt bitterness. Her subconscious, faithful as always, produced more strife. I told her, stop rehearsing conflict. Begin to imagine harmony. See your home filled with light. Whisper nightly, divine love fills this house. Peace governs every heart. Harmony is mine now. She obeyed, though at first it felt false. Slowly the conviction sank in, and as it did, the outer conflict dissolved. Harmony became the new reality. The prayer had worked, not because others changed, but because she impressed a new pattern. The world only mirrored what she finally believed. Guard carefully the words you use with yourself. For every I am is a command to your subconscious. When you say I am weak, you are programming weakness. When you say I am strong, you are programming strength. When you declare I am unlucky, you are planting misfortune. When you affirm I am guided, I am prosperous, I am whole, you are planting blessing. Your subconscious cannot take a joke. It accepts all statements as commands. Therefore, be deliberate, be vigilant. Speak only what you wish to see expressed. Every I am is sacred. Every I am is prayer. Every I am is destiny in seed form. The hidden prayer is not begging for what you lack, but declaring what you already possess in the unseen. It is not asking timidly, but assuming boldly. It is not rehearsing fear, but affirming faith. When you pray this way, the subconscious unites with infinite intelligence, and the result is inevitable. Do not ask how it will come. That is not your part. The how belongs to the infinite. Your part is to impress the end result, to feel it as already real, to believe it as done. The subconscious will arrange the how. It will open doors, stir intuition, move men, and shift events to bring forth what has been impressed. Trust it, for it is one with the divine order of life. And so I urge you now, use the hidden prayer tonight. Do not wait until desperation forces you. Speak it now with conviction. Write it down. Whisper it aloud. Let it sink into your heart. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am healed, prosperous, and strong. Divine love fills me. Divine wisdom guides me. Infinite abundance flows through me now. Say it until you feel it. Feel it until you believe it. Believe it until your subconscious accepts it. For once accepted, it must be expressed. This is the hidden law, the hidden prayer, and the miracle cannot be withheld from you. They feared this prayer because it makes you untouchable. Once you know that no condition, no authority, no tradition has power over the law of belief working through your subconscious, you cease to bow before the idols of fear. You walk in the quiet confidence that life answers only to your inner decree. This is why they tried to bury the truth under rituals, dogmas, and doctrines, because if every soul understood it, the chains of fear would shatter, and men would rise as creators instead of beggars. Yet the prayer survives, whispered in silence, handed from soul to soul, living in the hearts of those who dare to believe. And you, listening tonight, are inheriting it now. Every problem you face, whether of health, finance, or relationship, is not an enemy, but a reflection. It is the mirror of what you have impressed upon the subconscious. If you complain that the mirror shows you a distorted face, you must remember it only reflects. Change the image within, and the reflection must change. The subconscious cannot resist. It does not argue, it does not select, it only obeys. This is why Christ said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you," not in temples, not in rituals, not in distant heavens, but within you. Heaven or hell is nothing more than the state of consciousness you impress upon the subconscious, and the prayer is the key that opens either door. A young student once told me she feared every exam, certain she would fail. Her lips begged for success, but her inner picture was always one of failure. I taught her the hidden prayer. I am calm, I am guided, I am successful. Infinite intelligence expresses through me. She was to imagine herself writing with clarity, hearing the words flow easily, feeling the joy of completion. She obeyed. Soon her subconscious accepted success, and her exams reflected it. She moved from failure to excellence, not because her mind grew overnight, but because her belief changed. The subconscious had been given a new pattern, and the outer life conformed. What had been hidden was now revealed as miracle. You must realize that imagination is the workshop of this prayer. The subconscious accepts imagination as reality. If you imagine defeat vividly, it accepts defeat. If you imagine victory vividly, it accepts victory. Athletes visualize triumph. Musicians rehearse concerts in the mind. Inventors see their creations completed before they exist. Why should you not use the same faculty to heal your body, prosper your affairs, and bring peace to your home? The imagination is the womb of creation, and the subconscious is the mother that brings forth what has been conceived. Therefore, be deliberate with your images. Paint them with faith, color them with feeling, and repeat them until they become conviction. Consider also how easily suggestions enter when you are careless. The words of others, the fears of society, the doubts of friends. If accepted, these seeds fall into the soil of your subconscious and take root. This is why vigilance is essential. Guard your ears, your eyes, your speech. Do not permit negative suggestions to lodge within you. If one slips in, uproot it at once. Reverse it with truth. Replace it with affirmation. If someone says you cannot, declare within, I can and I will. If they say you are weak, affirm, I am strong in the power of the infinite. If they say you are doomed, affirm, divine order governs my life. This reversal is prayer. This resistance is mastery. And mastery is what they feared you would discover. A man once told me he was cursed, for everything he touched seemed to fail. I asked him what he repeated to himself, and he said, I always say I am unlucky. His subconscious, obedient as always, fulfilled his decree. I taught him to reverse it. I am guided by infinite intelligence. Luck is mine now. Favor surrounds me. He practiced until conviction formed, and soon the so-called curse lifted. Opportunities multiplied. Success replaced failure. Joy replaced despair. Nothing had been cursed but his belief, and nothing had been changed but his prayer. For the subconscious had accepted a new decree, and life had no choice but to express it. Do not forget that the subconscious cannot discern jest from seriousness. Every word is taken as command. If you mock yourself saying, I never win, it accepts it. If you belittle yourself with, I am worthless, it accepts it. But if you exalt yourself with, I am worthy, I am blessed, I am guided, it accepts that also. You are constantly programming destiny with your inner dialogue. Every phrase is prayer. Every thought is seed. Every feeling is command. Therefore, let no idle word condemn you. Let only truth pass your lips. Only faith fill your mind. Only love occupy your heart. For the law is exact, and it will not fail. And now let us seal this part with affirmation. Say with me with conviction, I am one with infinite power. I am worthy of abundance, health, and love. I reject fear, I reject doubt, I reject limitation. Divine wisdom guides me, divine love surrounds me, divine abundance flows through me. Write it, whisper it, repeat it, until your heart accepts it. For once your subconscious accepts, your life cannot remain the same. This is the hidden prayer that works miracles, the prayer they tried to hide, and it is yours to use tonight. They conceal this prayer because it reveals the true throne of power. If you knew that you carry the command center of destiny within your own subconscious, you would never again bow to fear, nor waste your strength chasing blessings outside yourself. For the law is simple, unbreakable, universal. What you impress is expressed. Whisper this to yourself, write it down, engrave it in your heart. What you impress is expressed. Every condition you face, every success, every failure, is nothing but the reflection of what has been planted within. This is the secret the world cloaks in superstition and ritual. They would rather you kneel in ignorance than stand in mastery. But tonight you rise, for the truth cannot be buried forever. A man once came to me tormented by constant misfortune. He said, Doctor, it seems life is against me. Every plan collapses, every effort ends in failure. I asked him, what do you tell yourself when you attempt something new? He admitted, I always think, it will go wrong, I will fail again. And so his subconscious, obedient and impartial, made it so. I taught him the hidden prayer. Divine order governs all my affairs. Infinite intelligence prospers everything I do. Success is mine now. He was to see himself victorious, feel the triumph, imagine the joy of achievement. He obeyed, and soon the tide turned. Success followed him, not because the world changed, but because his inner decree changed. This is the essence of the hidden prayer. It alters the seed, and the harvest must follow. Do not think that your environment is the master. Your environment is the mirror. If you despise what you see, do not curse the mirror. Change the image it reflects. The subconscious is the painter, and thought is the brush. Each stroke, each color, each line creates the picture that life must reproduce. If you paint with fear, the portrait will be grim. If you paint with faith, the portrait will shine. You are the artist. You are the master. And the hidden prayer is the act of painting deliberately, with conviction, until the picture is complete within. Then, and only then, will it appear without. Life cannot resist the inner picture. It has no power to refuse. It can only reflect. A woman once plagued by bitterness prayed for help, yet remained ill. She confessed, I cannot forgive. I will not let go. Her resentment poisoned her life. I told her, resentment is poison to the subconscious. Divine love dissolves everything unlike itself. Begin now to say, I forgive, I release, I am free. Divine love fills me now. At first she resisted, but she persisted. Slowly the hatred melted, and with it the illness dissolved. Her body became radiant, her spirit free. Forgiveness was not mere morality, it was medicine. Love was not sentiment, it was law. The subconscious accepted the new command, and health appeared. This is why the hidden prayer is so vital. It restores harmony where disharmony has been impressed. Guard well the language of your I am, for each phrase is a decree to the subconscious. When you say, I am sick, you are programming illness. When you say, I am poor, you are programming lack. When you say, I am unlucky, you are programming failure. But when you declare, I am whole, I am prosperous, I am favored, you are impressing blessings. Your subconscious cannot argue. It accepts without question, without humor, without delay. This is why idle words are dangerous. Every I am is prayer. Every I am is seed. Every I am is destiny. Therefore let your I am always be holy, noble, filled with faith. For what you impress tonight will walk beside you tomorrow. Do not fall into the trap of repetition without feeling. The subconscious responds not to lifeless words, but to living conviction. If you affirm wealth while feeling poor, poverty remains. If you affirm health while fearing disease, sickness persists. The hidden prayer demands union of word and feeling, thought and conviction, image and emotion. When these align, the subconscious yields instantly. Therefore, when